And I have the confidence to say that every performance indicator used shows we have done more in these 7 years than in any of the 8 years under the National Democratic Congress. So good. We've managed to keep the lights on these last 7 years, even in the midst of a financial crisis. A number of important tasks lie ahead of us, one of which will be commissioning the Nana Adjumani Prempeh I International Airport in Kumasi.
His Excellency Nana ADDO KYEKYekutv Mampini de ma the Republic of Ghana. Na ye name say Bribiano Otabe ma the State of the Nation's address. Na afiwe anasa kasa ene dia or dia betu jane die the final State of the Nation's address Mampini Nana ADDO KYEKYekutv abema na kire se o ma bie kosi se 2024 yi ebeko na wie na elections abatu no meka say elections ne beba so na yi mampanyin foforo a ono so na bebetina akonya no so na abra enei nondu na State of the Nation's address no say na ebeba so na omode ne omanyina egu akwemu a bibia ekọ so kama na mampanyin bomode akopie mu ewo Ghanacelebrity a na kire say obe deliver ne speech na ne nkasa ye mu ene ne speech no before crown na obeba na nkofo bebre na tichire ebisa say sesia na kasa Ghana crown state na etesen then na expect free mampanyin honom de ben na oba be ka kire ye obeka asema ya kuma beto ye ma na sesia na de eja na aba beduru oba be kasa e de ne nsem aba be gu akwemu na enu bi na me ne omienu ye ba be hwe na sene etie no so ro adwen agent afa comment section one say no and na we expect ya wachire wadwen afa wo say so say state e wo mu na obeka ho asem so a na no so wachire wadwen e dey afa comment section one e dey ama me say na ne dey di kan ya wo share media mesero say ubemi ya subscribe button so and subscribe for mama enjane sa bo notification bell no so for mama say na be ya ubenya notification anytime bia e be call live and I say be post videos na wonya bi ahwe uwie nso a share fama foforo na onya bi enhye na say ye to ansem nso a mampanyin abomode abeju Ghanacelebrity na ne nsem a ode begu akwemu no ebi ene say sesia no elections e di enim na kire say obia ehwe enim kwa se beba so na say NPP beba pa o say NDC na beba pa o say Mpo Freedom Party na beba ana say Butterfly Party, Metre Alankash Party, Movement for Change, and a no. Because you see, Ghana had a multi-party system and a two-party system. Because of democracy, party via edi amani, sake of a constitution using the NT. Now, Nensam say, yes, no dear. Or the full support, ebe making sure say elections are very free and fair. And just a bibia ebe koso kama. Obeboa support is na just bibia akoyie e de ama elections a ebe koso no na eno nso endanche no ne nsem bi o kan ne say 7 years ni a wobetina so ne de kire say omabo ejuma yie pa ye ka se ejuma omabo bi yie pa esne eni NDC amenye ko no a omabetina so 8 years and almost 7 years now omabetina so sesi no government na betina so no tese juma obo no NDC ni bi ntimi mfa na sense ne bo nka se ono NDC ni mampanyin obetina so 8 years no ejuma we na otimi ye endru ono 8 years no kura endru ono 7 years no di ode aye na tese nsem no edoso yenko ni nkotie bi emra de ba ni aka no so ye de baba besom so
Democracies are founded on elections, and the holding of free and credible elections ensure that people have confidence in the government that emerges at the end of the process. The honorable members of this House, who are at the center of it all, know more than the rest of us that this is an election year. The increased decibel level in all communications would ensure that even the most politically uninterested person among us would know that on December 7th, we shall be going to the polls to elect a new president and new members of parliament. A lot of the responsibility lies on the Electoral Commission to put the organization in place that will ensure that we have credible elections. The government is doing its part to make the work of the Electoral Commission go smoothly. I'm able to recommend the performance tracker in the sure knowledge that the AKUFU government has done more in education in terms of student enrollment, teacher training and employment, provision of infrastructure than any government. We have similarly done more in health, agriculture, security, roads, railways, tourism, digitalization than any other government. Thanks to the performance tracker, the president no longer has to go through lists. And I have the confidence to say that every performance indicator used shows we have done more in these 7 years than in any of the 8 years under the National Democratic Congress. Speaker, between 2012 and early 2017, there was nothing more demoralizing than the phenomenon we called doomsday. It was symptomatic of a dysfunctional system, and it caused widespread depression amongst businesses and households. After that experience, my government was determined that doomsday would not be inflicted upon government, upon Ghana and Ghanaians and an MPP government. Shouts will not wish doomsday away in our history. It will not. After that experience, my government was determined that doomsday would not be inflicted upon Ghana and Ghanaians under an MPP government. And I'm glad to be able to say, so far, so good. We've managed to keep the lights on these last 7 years, even in the midst of a financial crisis. We've managed the energy sector with discipline and expertise to avoid a repetition of the hardships inflicted on Ghanaians some years ago. Furthermore, through determined, skillful negotiation, we've been able to reduce considerably the energy sector debt that we inherited. Indeed, the government negotiating team carried out a successful reconciliation exercise with the IPPs and ECG, which established that the IPP arrears position was not the $1.6 billion that had been previously reported in the media, but was actually $1.2 billion. That is savings of some $400 million.
I naturally say, we are from baby, or then some no to Jano, Chile, Cratch, say, and say, Rebecca, doom so, nay, dear, Ekugana for ye pa. Nanso, a free bra, now buying a bar pa, and dear. Mommy, he sure say, although no more air, didn't dear, to say, oh, there are financial crisis, Nanso so. A mama Modian say, 7 years need ye, doom so dear, it been some of you. President, are you sure? She's a area dear of late. The way I do so is because of honor. Because I fault. but then him say the return of doom so. But I say 7 years ni doom so well. So no way so ensema mampini edebeti uja na ne nsam bi osanka ka ho enso efa taxes Ghana for etia no and sesia no Kumasi airport na ye ba be commission no and say taxes na etia na no bia na omode be commission international airports and na sesia na de Kumasi international airport no ne din ye de beba no Nana Ajiman Prempe the first and na sesia no so Tamale International Airport so Yakubutale International Airport. Let us say, sa airport ni na sesia na de enchekra no ye bebe piano. And also nanche na de na say I recommend ni mate, say driver any ni mate the Vice President of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and the flag bearer of NPP. On the Francophone for the NPP amenyo kono. Sesia na de said they were man pin si born abaso hype no Mashebe fie and none de na nyasem keto akwa Dr. Digitalization digital man said Sesia na de enam na that romance no Sesia na de abefu enumuko no eko nim pa ye na enso edanche no ode all African games ebeko so ewo man mu so no Sesia na de nyoma nyina egu akwan mu a say ye be shase enchekra yenko ni nkotie senia nsem no esikoye na afi okasa wiye ye kire say mrashe bedefio enya asem keto okra o be she yenko ni nkotie senia esikoye emwa.
Let me wish all of us well in the elections on 7th December. Before then, a number of important tasks lie ahead of us, one of which will be commissioning the Nana Ajiman Prempe the first international airport in Kumasi, and naming the recently commissioned airport in Tamale the Yakubu Tali International Airport of Tamale. Mr. Speaker, we stumbled, but we are rising again. We were bruised, but we are healing. We have recovered our footing. We have dusted ourselves off, and now we face tomorrow with confidence. I haven't heard anybody point out one. This year, we're taking things to a higher level. This government, after all, is the digitalization government. And the man who has led the entire digitalization process these past 7 years my indefatigable Vice President, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, Dr. Digitalization, the MPP's excellent presidential candidate for the 2024 election. Is coming out with what will allow everyone and everybody and anyone to check on every project being undertaken by the government without having to listen to the president's message on the state of the nation.
Mamin come for retain herbal solution and from mouth. Say ban cocoa and etete war. Say cocoa nesi wuna many baby. Say I don't know what Jane now pequine beer would be to a few on any intino. The beer of Osira Fablade and as a kind of trim. No more 8 no. But what the answer when you ever choose when I see you. Now I bet cocoa don't be no one on them. Sense cocoa nesi would talk and I'm a moja 2. sebi esi woto ano kwan no amase buntimi nja wonan a bomodin ase obebe honom na wabeji bi no wanonom na tese ne nyina kokoyare na ewo mu na epie hu na menene nyina ebefiri honom ede ama wo so ade ase anti bra na beje wode sanso na owa memedru ewo ho memedru tatashe minia be ma wo hwemi a wow di adanse se ennyoma nkoye wo mpem no bomodin ase odi woni bekire mu honom obema memedru kama pa obenonom na kire sa ma osisi moye den na wudina oba no so a wodi hu adanse aka se mekuni enede wobo adwuma ai se opese okọ 3 hours se opese okọ 4 hours and 5 hours no obeboa wo obenonom amate se osisi mbe dem wetimi akosa long journey no we enye 2 minutes journey ni biada bi esana na asa wo gine oba no style bi no nti bomodin asa do woni bekirem ewo Kumasi Technical University Ghanacelebrity opposite gate 3 no akwaji wonu ni bi no wanonom na bibia akoyie ede amount the number is 0241 740609 0241 740609 freno na omboa na bibia enye kama enfama o tinsama ekoso ewo eyemra shebedefi enne no aye state of the nation's addresser ye mampenini edebetuja kire so kasa wie ye pena na omanfo se driver banza wo kunkrofo ma ene enyomo a na hyese eyemra shebedefi MPs no omo elto no wo ho no na se wo MPs na so omo address ya suit sa na onka se omo timi omo ye musicians so se omutimi maka kwala bia wanka se krabeje wonsa driver banza wokum krofoma se eye vice president woka se mampanyini driver ono na elimate nse driver driver kan dia driver akokum krofoma kwa ai na chese nyuma omo edija ye mampanyini kwan wa bra o deliver the speech ni area kama no ai yenye na eni se enya ade a obesa aba deliver speech being aba deliver the state of the nation's address being kopem say elections yi ebeba na wie ye na yi mampini foforo ama ono nso aba betina so na yesa wo free na duma di ase ewo honom na say ene call wo ma hye bedefie an kakra ensa kan no eno ene de beso ya hyepo ewo KOKOTV so meda asesa wo je bre na wotina se na wo hwemmi midi ene ekwia afa koma
Koko president no nye se din hunu bi keke se do si di koko so ti ne di koko president ama no se koko ayewa wo ye MP wo mpasu aso no ada se ye oto ana se obe ma mo ne koko lesi a eye wo mpasu aso se wo mpasu aso MP wo pese obi bi akoso wo mpasu aso de a ese obo president ama ne wo tu ase no Fise wa me boy president na manye na ye MP ne koko no e won pasua so na wunka hwe a won pasua so be ye basa enti be bo president amanye what dey me kire no na won solve problem an koko ye yare boni ya bi kanya se koko ye yare boni to ho anamon na rich solution omo a fise koko de koko te rich solution dia no twani kuruse fise koko kura no